Tomlin, you are cooked, brother. Mike Tomlin is the current day version of what Marvin Lewis was for the Cincinnati Bengals. Stays around forever, has just an okay team, no playoff success, no demonstrated playoff success at all, and then every single year it's a letdown. The only difference is that Marvin Lewis wasn't even making the playoffs. But Mike Tomlin makes the playoffs, and then every single year he just gets embarrassed. Steelers fans, what are you actually looking forward to when you have Mike Tomlin at the helm? Do you just want to make the playoffs or do you actually want to contend for a Super Bowl? Because those are two completely different things. And Mike Tomlin is not capable of contending for a Super Bowl. The Ravens are looking like the Super Bowl favorites for one reason. When they played the Pittsburgh Steelers, it never looked like the Ravens were going to lose the game. And that's because of Lamar Jackson. Not only is Lamar Jackson the best quarterback in the league, but now he finally has some help with Derrick Henry at the running back position. Wide receivers still are not good. These are below average wide receivers. Imagine if you gave Lamar Jackson, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase. It would be the most unreal thing that you had ever seen in your entire life. But Lamar Jackson is taking the Ravens to levels and heights that we have never seen. Before the year started, people were saying, oh, the Ravens don't get Lamar any weapons. The Ravens don't have this. The Ravens don't have that. Lamar Jackson said, everybody just give me a second. Give me a second and let me cook. Because I am the greatest player to ever lace up a pair of cleats. And no matter what they give me, I'm going to win a Super Bowl. When Lamar Jackson got drafted to the Ravens, they said, Lamar, what are the Ravens going to get out of you? He said, they going to get a Super Bowl out of me. That was the best response that I've ever heard anybody in the entire world give. Typically, guys say hard work, first one in, last out to leave. I'm going to be here for my teammates. I'm going to be a leader. Lamar said, nah, they're going to get a Super Bowl out of me. And it looks like this year that promise that he made Ravens Nation is coming true. Year to year, teams are picking up Ben Simmons and thinking maybe he can just be a plug and play player for us. But it turns out he's not even capable of doing that. Between his injuries and just some sort of lack of confidence, he's completely withered away as a player. So, like, I'm praying for Ben Simmons. I want to see him succeed again. He's obviously still talented enough to be in the NBA, but he needs to find a team that puts him in the right position to be successful because his role isn't the same as it used to be. He's not going to be a scorer anymore. I don't think that he's capable of being a primary ball handler anymore. But he's also not a power forward. The last few years, they've been putting Ben Simmons down at power forward, and that's going against everything he's ever known playing basketball. And it's also just not his primary position. A team should let Ben Simmons come off their bench and be their, like, basically backup point guard. Let Ben Simmons run the second team at point guard and see what he's still capable of. I'd love to see the Golden State Warriors make this move. Joe Burrow didn't make an all-pro team, but he led the league in passing yards and passing touchdowns. He should have been an all-pro player, but let me explain why he wasn't. Joe Burrow wasn't an all-pro player because his team didn't make the playoffs. With that being said, you could have put me as the starting quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals for 17 games this year, and we still could have not made the playoffs. All pro players take their team to the playoffs. If you could start me at quarterback and the team could have the same outcome as Joe Burrow had on the team, he doesn't need to be all pro. He had a great year. He passed for a lot of yards. He passed for a lot of touchdowns. And like Joe Burrow is a baller, but this isn't your year. Take the Bengals back to the playoffs, take the Bengals back to the Super Bowl, and Joe Burrow, you will get all the credit in the world that you ever could have asked for. Kentucky's 95-90 win over Mississippi State yesterday was huge. There's a few big things that I want to touch on. One being that this is our first road SEC win. This is going to be big. Every SEC road game is going to be crazy. We need our guys to get used to this. Second is that we had multiple guys step up in huge roles. Jackson Robinson had 25 points, and at the end of the game, even Ansley Almanor stepped up and knocked down huge buckets, including 3 3-pointers in a row. Everybody on our team played well yesterday, and we also saw guys step up in different roles. Amari Williams played way better. Andrew Carr stepped back a little bit and allowed the rest of the team to maybe shine even more. Similar with Kobe Brea. I like what Mark Pope is building for our program because this is a team that's going to still be around in March. This is a team that's just gaining their momentum, and you're going to see Kentucky get better and better and better as the year goes on. What happened to Ben Simmons? Like, legitimately, we have never ever seen a player fall apart the way that we've seen Ben Simmons fall apart mentally. When he was in Philadelphia, he was one of the best players in the league. Coming out of college to LSU, he was the number one draft pick, and he was always that guy. And then he gets to Philadelphia. He has a great start to his career, but then after a few years, the Philadelphia fans got in his head and he lost all of his capabilities. Ben Simmons is now a bottom tier bench player in the NBA who's never healthy. And even when he's in the game, he's not an impact maker at all. So, like, what happened to Ben Simmons mentally? Is he getting treatment for this? Where is his headspace at? Like, I want to see Ben Simmons succeed again, but I don't think that we're ever going to see that day. Every team is picking up Ben Simmons year to year and saying, "Oh, maybe he's going to be a plug and play piece